As 2023 comes to an end, it is time to look back on the events and trends that shaped the nation in the past 12 months. From controversial developments in health and wellness to the challenges and opportunities in politics and society, 2023 was a year of change and transformation. In this end-of-year review, we will highlight some of the most important and impactful stories of the year, as well as the lessons and implications they have for the future. Whether you are interested in the latest developments in cruise tourism and the hidden gems of domestic travel, or the optimism of looking on the bright side, we have something for you in this comprehensive and insightful review. Join us as we celebrate the achievements, reflect on the learnings, and look forward to the possibilities of 2024.
For the first time in many years, 2023 did not see triple digits in the murder count. According to the Belize Police Department, major crimes on a whole were on the decrease. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams says that it was resilience and dedication on the part of law enforcement officers, as well as the partnership between the department and the NGO community, including public support, that was instrumental in minimizing crime this year. News 5's Marian Ali has a summary of the major crime and conviction figures in the following report. The murder rate in 2023 recorded a 20% reduction over the same period in 2022. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams says that the sharp decline is historic because there hasn't been this level of success since 2008. But while the numbers were lower than in recent years, every murder is a heinous act, and there were quite a few that stood out. The killing of children. We begin with perhaps the most heart-wrenching incident, one that claimed the lives of 3 persons, including a little girl aged 3. It happened in September in San Pedro, as the child was traveling with her parents and some friends to their house in the San Pedrito area. Someone ambushed the golf cart they were traveling in and shot 3 persons: Carlos Chi, Delmar Rodriguez, and the child, Amory Rodriguez, who was his daughter. The child's aunt gave us an off-camera account of how it happened.
It may sound like that when fireworks drop from the ground and just start shut up. And I wake up my husband and I tell her, babe, you hear that? When we open the door, my sister-in-law and the other Bali will get injured at the time. When they down and they said, just kill your brother, my baby, my niece.
Police later charged Christian Espat and Michael Brown for the murders, but Espat has put forth an alibi stating that he was with a group in Chetumal when the deadly attack took place. Equally as heinous was the cruel death of 4-year-old Ayana Bennett, who was placed by the Department of Human Services in the custody of Mennonite foster parents Marvin and Lena Plett. The charge laid against them was manslaughter. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams provided the details of the autopsy report.
The pathologist today conducted a post-mortem examination on the body of the child and certified that she died from multiple trauma, which would indicate that she was beaten severely, and that beating was what actually caused her death. Police have also detained both foster parents. They are still in police custody. They were charged based on advice of the DPP over the weekend for aggravated assault. And now that the post-mortem examination has been concluded, the result of that has been forwarded to the DPP, and we will now await further instructions from her as it relates to any possible further charges. I can say that both foster parents have also admitted to having lashed the child with a belt, according to them, but I don't know if a belt would cause that amount of force as the doctor had prescribed following the post-mortem examinations.
The Minister of Human Development told reporters that when social workers screened the couple, they did not detect any red flags. She said that the ministry would review its policy on fostering. On August 20th, a young man, 16 years old, was shot dead while he and notorious convict Joseph Budna were together at a farmhouse off the Branch Mouth Road in San Ignacio. A gunman opened fire at the room where the two were, killing the youth and injuring Budna. A nearby resident, Roy Smith, shared off-camera what he heard that night.
We was having dinner last night about approximately at the same time I just told you, about 8:39, and we heard a screaming, and we heard someone running the bushes too as well. Because we are approximately like about 25 yards from his house, and he asked for help, and we screamed. All of our family, Smith, came out and went to his place that he resides, and we saw him came out with blood on his belly, blood on his feet, and we called the police immediately.
Belize City businessman Ricardo Borja was ambushed and killed on August 19th in front of an apartment off Coney Drive. The incident happened just after 11:30 that night when the 28-year-old drove his white Nissan pickup into the yard. A gunman approached him while he was seated inside the vehicle and fatally shot him. Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told the media that they were trying to determine whether his murder stemmed from any of Borja's business dealings.
We're getting several information that are negative towards him in terms of his involvement with different activities, but I am not going to go into details of those. And yes, it could be that it is one of those that may have led to his death. And so we are looking at every possible angle that we can pursue in respect to this matter.
Later on, Borja's business partner, Frick de Meer, was taken in for questioning, but nothing tangible could be tied to his involvement in the murder. The day before he was murdered, Borja, who owned a consultancy and also did real estate transactions, had released audio recordings of questionable land transactions that he had stumbled upon at the Lands Department. In the 23-minute-long audio recording, Borja explains that someone he had worked with from Panama had a client that wanted to purchase land in Belize. He recommended a real estate agent in southern Belize and is heard in the recording saying that he found someone online. Borja reported that in the beginning, everything went smoothly, but thereafter he discovered hiccups and realized that there was a whole scheme going on, involving at least one public officer as well.
I knew that they were creating different things. I knew that they were creating passports. I never did any passports. I never created any titles. It all started through doing grants of administration of permits, right? And I could at least count 13 of them, I think, or 10 of them, you know? I was through this entire process that, I'll just start with exactly what I remember off the lines. Some of them, we very well knew that they were not right, and we had to prepare reports, land title search reports, and some of them even we were asked by one of the employees who was selling a lot, and it was like, Ricardo, but you cannot put that on the thing. And I was like, I know I can't put that. I was like, don't worry, I'll figure it out. I got you, because I already knew what the drill was, you know. So it was to prepare so it was almost to like prepare something that had to do. It was actually giving a false report. I used to get $2,500 a month in salary from us, right? And she used to work inside our lands, so that's how we would get copies of inside document or system pictures, you know. And there were times that there were things that had to be paid in there. As far as I can tell, they had a proper scheme whereby they paid off. Yeah, right. I know at once. Well, I think we have an instruction that they gave her $7,500, and that's what they gave her for every probate like that, so they can. Again, while I was much in depth, I wasn't in depth because I knew this was a wrong probate. But how did they got it? God knows how.
The Borja case, like many others, still remains under investigation. Another sensational murder was that of Ora Leslie on the night of August 27th in the area of Albert Street West and Yabra in Belize City. Residents reported what sounded like an automatic rifle discharging countless rounds of bullets. And when police visited the scene, they retrieved as many as 40 expended shells. Leslie was no stranger to the law. He was one of several men charged for the November 2012 murder of BDF soldier James Norales. In 2015, he, along with Tyrone Main and Brandon Baptist, was freed of the charge in a trial before Justice Troadio Gonzalez. The DPP appealed the decision of the Supreme Court, and a retrial was ordered by the Court of Appeal in 2017. In July 2018, the trio was once again acquitted of the murder. That same year, Leslie brought a lawsuit against the Belize Central Prison, claiming that he was mistreated and suffered harsh conditions while behind bars. And while it happened in the closing hours of 2022, the New Year's Eve murders of 3 family members ushered in a sense of uneasiness within the Belmopan community. On that night, 38-year-old John Ramnareis and his wife, Vivian, were at home, along with John's brother, 29-year-old David Ramnareis, and his common-law wife, Yemi Alberto. But their happy evening together quickly turned into tragedy when a gunman ran into the yard and shot the brothers dead before entering the house and shooting the 2 women. Vivian would succumb to her wounds days later. The man who stands accused of the attack is former police corporal Elmer Na. At his November 8 adjournment, the Ramnareis family expressed dismay that there have been delays in the court proceedings.
The last time when we were here, they had appointed a special prosecutor, and he's from out of Jamaica. And so he was coming for the court date for today, but he had a family emergency, so he was already en route to Belize and was in Miami, we were made to understand. And when he got the phone call of a serious nature of a family member, and so he had to return to Jamaica. And so the new date set is for the 15th of December. We're here, and everybody is, we're looking forward to see this case move forward. We want to see we get past this stage for it to be able to, for us to get to the point where we'll be, see it's being referred to the Supreme Court and for the actual trial to begin. And so right now, this is just prolonging all the anxieties and everything. And so it's taking a toll on the family where that is concerned.
He was the crown witness in a murder trial and went missing shortly after giving eyewitness testimony in a sensational trial that ended up in the conviction of the accused men. But Iran Basco Jones was found murdered and buried in a shallow grave in Biscayne Village not long after. Jones had just relocated to Hattieville after he had testified in the murder trial of Eric Miranda and Jeffrey Contreras, accused of the murder of Sean Menzies outside of his house on Lancaster Street in 2018. Jones's mother told News 5 that he had relocated out of fear for his life. He went missing when he went looking for food and was never seen alive again. On May 16th, the decomposing body of 19-year-old Imari Galvez was discovered off the Hummingbird Highway. She had been choked to death. The Belmopan resident had left home 2 days before the discovery of her body, and the last information from police back then was that they had her iPhone and were in the process of asking for assistance to unlock it to access whatever messages or call logs existed just before her death. That has not proved successful because, as the U.S. Embassy responded when they were contacted to assist with unlocking Galvez's iPhone, there is no forensic tool advanced enough to unlock an iPhone 13. The embassy indicated that IT and FBI personnel must wait at least 2 years for the forensic equipment to be updated to be able to unlock these devices. And there were other homicides in 2023. But what also raised eyebrows soon into the new year was that the first murder for 2023 happened only minutes after the clock struck 12 on January 1st. It happened on Central American Boulevard and claimed the life of Lionel Budna, who was shot not far away from his house. Tragedy struck during an incessant downpour on the night of December 14th, as 19-year-old Leslie Young Jr. walked from the direction of the Mexican Institute along Newtown Barracks towards the Princess Casino. He had been attacked by a group of young men who unleashed a barrage of bullets at him. On December 11th, a post-mortem examination revealed that 82-year-old William Watson was stabbed to death before his house was destroyed by fire the week before. No one has since been charged with that crime. The elderly man who lived alone at the corner of Zeracote and Banac Streets in a 2-story house looked out for his neighbors. When the news surfaced that he had in fact been murdered, his church pastor, Leslie Gillett, expressed little hope that any help to solve the crime will come from the public. Now on to other crimes in 2023. Everyone remembers the case of the children who had to be hospitalized after they ate candy laced with weed in April. The national exhibit keeper for the Belize Police Department, Mario Bustillos, was charged with 10 counts of negligent harm in relation to that incident, after it was revealed that the 38-year-old Orange Walk resident did not follow protocol and improperly disposed of the unlabeled sweets from the exhibit room. A sizable quantity of an assortment of illegal drugs, including cannabis, cocaine, crack cocaine, and heroin, was confiscated during an operation in Borrowboom Village in June. Law enforcement officers conducted a search in a bushy area where they found 66 parcels of cannabis, as well as 12 transparent plastic bags containing cocaine and 3 transparent plastic bags containing heroin. Interestingly, the drugs were not linked to anyone, so they were labeled as found property. The items were weighed separately, and the cannabis amounted to 156.5 pounds. The cocaine came up to 42.4 grams, while the crack cocaine and heroin amounted to 124.8 grams and 52.2 grams, respectively. Rounding up the major crime segment was the news that broke in early August when evangelical pastor Mervyn Budram was accused by several young women of indecent sexual assault. Budram was charged in November in Belmopan with 13 counts of indecent assault, but the number of women who filed the reports shrank to 2. The Crime Observatory's records show that there were 952 total major crimes reported, including murder, rape, robbery, burglary, theft, and unlawful sexual assault. 302 persons were arrested and charged for these crimes, and for drug and firearm offenses, another 1,105 arrests were made. While the police have been able to reduce the number of murders and lay charges for a number of them, the Director of Public Prosecution's office has not had as good a stroke of luck in getting a majority of convictions on the murder cases it has taken before the High Court. There are a few notable convictions, however, that we reported on during the year. These include that of Hildebrandt Codd, the notorious convict who escaped from the courthouse through a window on December 5th, while waiting to find out his fate for the murder of Densmore Bowman. Codd was convicted in absentia on December 21st. It also includes the fine imposed on May 31st upon Jasmine Harton, exactly 3 years ago to the day after she was arraigned in San Pedro for the shooting death of Superintendent Henry Jamot. In April, Harton had pleaded guilty to manslaughter in a trial where she explained that the shooting was entirely an accident and that she was sorry it had ever happened. She was fined $75,000 as her sentence. Presiding Judge Ricardo O'Neill Sancroft, in a 25-page ruling, imposed the fine to be paid within 12 months, or in default, Harton would face 12 months in prison. Harton was also ordered to spend 300 hours doing community work at the Young Men's Christian Association, YMCA, on Faubers Road, and to make a video on the excesses of alcohol consumption and committing irresponsible actions and the consequences of making those mistakes. Then there's the double conviction of brothers Delson and Tion Paguada, who stood trial for the 2018 murder of Paul Jacks. On December 20th, the Paguadas were given 30-year prison sentences. On December 15th, 2 men who were found guilty of the 2018 murder of Bowen & Bowen employee Sean Menzies were sentenced to life in prison. Eric Miranda and Jeffrey Contreras were sentenced by Justice Ricardo O'Neill Sancroft. They will be able to apply for parole after they have served 30 years. In a conversation with the Crown Counsel, News 5 has learned that while there have been successful prosecutions on several high-profile murders, there are many more that fall through the cracks. The estimate is that for every 1 successful conviction, there are 2 more that are never concluded, and that's because the charges are withdrawn against the accused. Our source informed that there are 3 major factors that result in failed prosecutions: the lack of eyewitnesses, police officers who are inadequately trained in investigative skills and in knowledge of the law. Thirdly is the lack of DNA capabilities in country and not being able to send all abroad to extract scientific material.
Earlier this year, the Minister of Blue Economy and Civil Aviation came under fire, stripped of his portfolio, and sacked from cabinet amid a sexual misconduct allegation brought against him by a constituent in Belize Rural South. Back in August, Andrew Perez was exposed in a series of risque text messages that were exchanged between himself and attorney Wendy Oxelou. The fallout would result in a political scandal that rocked the Briceño administration.
It gives me and my party absolutely no pleasure to even be discussing this very sordid matter, tragic matter that highlights what is the PUP, a train wreck, totally out of control, lack of decorum, lack of caliber in the people that got the privilege of administrating our country. I pray for the victim, the alleged victim in this case, and the family of Mr. Perez. It really, there is so much wrong that the PUP is doing that this is not something that I would have cared to be an issue. We have crime, we have corruption, we have the cartels taking over the north, cost of living, healthcare facilities, etc. However, this is not what some people are trying to make it seem to be, downplaying the severity of the accusations. We have to be a fair society. There has been an attempt by some to make this a personal affair, two lovers. You saw the statement by Miss Wendy Oxelou that she rescinded because she was not ready to release it officially. But it was a statement nonetheless that totally rejects the minister's proclamation that this was consensual. And in fact, she made allegations of rape.
I think that is something that everybody needs to take a look at, not only elected officials, but even citizens. With the change in social media, where it makes the exchanges of these of personal messages and personal pictures that can be made available at any moment. I think everybody needs to be careful. I don't think that the UDP has any moral standing to be able to call out anybody, because they need to start by looking at the mirror. And then after you have cleaned your house and fixed your house, then you have every right to be able to criticize. But it is something that our society as a whole needs to take a look at, and to realize that these telephones, whilst they are a good tool for good, it can be used also for bad.
Sir, but at what point does actions become unbecoming of a cabinet member or parliamentarian in the context of these images and these types of conversations we're talking about here?
I think we need to be careful how we handle this, all of us, and you also, the media included, because many of you are not without sin. So we need to be careful whilst we set these standards and being the morality police.
It's a few months ago. That's what it is. Yeah, listen, the most important thing is that I continue to work. The most important is go back to the people and reach out to people that elected. I was elected by over 10,000 people in this area as a area representative, and I won overwhelmingly. And it's going back to them and reaching out to them. And once you have the support of them and saying, let's carry on, that is all that matters. But not important, I don't want to leave out as well, the important factor is my family. That's important, the support of my family. They understand we're all human beings and make errors.
The scandal surrounding a dubious definitive agreement signed in October 2020 by businessman David Gegg on behalf of Portico Enterprises Limited and the government of Belize climaxed in the House of Representatives in mid-June. That's when Prime Minister John Briceño famously rubbished the controversial document that remains the subject of a Senate Special Select Committee hearing.
Now, let me tell you something about your corrupt UDP definitive agreement that was not approved by my cabinet. We did not approve it. I am telling you right now, this no good for nothing. So all of that nice one of them, no good, nothing. You know why? Because we are going to do what's right by Belize. The hypocrisy of these people. We will discuss with the key stakeholders, including Royal Caribbean, one of the leading cruise lines in the world, as well as our legitimate partners. And with full transparency, Madam Speaker, we will do only what is good for the tourism industry and good for Belize. We will be fair, and we will proceed only with the approval of the Cabinet and this Honorable House, Madam Speaker.
The government of Belize was evidently biased in the manner that it went about treating with project proposals for the Port of Magical Belize and the Port of Belize Limited. That's what the team that worked diligently in putting together Waterloo's technical proposal set out to establish when it presented a comparison of both projects. The consultants say that they were dealt with unfairly by the National Environmental Appraisal Committee and the Department of Environment.
We were asked to meet a standard, which we did. We were asked to do more, which we did. We were asked to do even more, which we did, until we got denied once, until we got denied twice. The cards were always stacked against us. We were never going to get our approval. So we sit here in front of you to talk about the irrationality of that process. How could one project get its approval, whereas another one that represents the existing Port of Belize, that would offer a key piece of national infrastructure to Belize and its people, was being denied and discriminated against?
The idea is that we are moving away from this issue of a definitive agreement. We want to have legislation that can cover any kind of investments, especially when it comes to this type of or for cruise tourism. We believe that it is something that is way better than what the UDP had. With the UDP, they have definitive agreement, and it's going to be done transparently. We've been discussing with all the stakeholders, and I've not seen the cabinet agendas yet. I'm just getting in. I hope that it should be ready for the cabinet to discuss, and if the cabinet approves it, then it will go to the House for it to be passed on into law.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Save, save, save. The credit union way.
Member owners are encouraged to save regularly, borrow wisely, and repay promptly.
No use keeping the money in your pocket. Soon as you turn wrong, you know you ain't got it. So as money goes from hand to hand, give your cash to the umbrella man. I'm telling you. Save, save, save. The credit union way. Save, save, save. It will make you rich someday.
traveler. Are you?
My name is Denise Mala. I had an aunt, one of my mom's sister, that we believe died from cancer. She was relatively young. And my sister passed from cervical cancer. I have been doing annual checkups. Recently, after one of the annual checkups, I noticed, a change in one of my breasts. I went for the next checkup earlier and I brought it to the attention of my treating doctor. He looked at it and he said he didn't like what he was seeing. A biopsy was requested and then the biopsy came back positive. When you first find out these things, you think about a lot of things and then eventually it comes around to the finance. I recalled this insurance, critical illness insurance that I had that I was paying. And that was probably the first time I read that contract. I read it in its entirety. And then I recognized that, this is going to assist me. I called the office, spoke with my agent. He was very helpful, guided me through what I needed to do. So I went through the process and I communicated with him a couple times and he just informed me what was happening. In a pretty short period of time, I was paid my insurance. This plan that I had been paying for many years, in my time of need, that came through for me. Having that insurance helped me significantly. It is absolutely something that everyone should consider because you never know when you're going to need it.
We are buying and selling Grace Kennedy products for 20 years, more or less.
For more than 20 years, we are selling the Grace Kennedy products. I think the availability of the products is some of the things that Grace have very well developed, and the quality and price.
And when a customer comes in your business, they ask you, do you have the Grace products? It sells more than the other products.
The Grace coconut powder, that one is one of the fast seller items from Grace, and is part of our top 10 items.
Up to their salespeople. They are very attentive when they come to your store.
It's a very good partner for us. All the time they're open to do different things.
Then my grandchildren, when they eat, Mamita, I want Grace ketchup. I would congratulate them on their 40th anniversary.
You are doing very good. We are having a great relation for years.
And tell them to continue the good work that they have been doing with all the Grace products.
My name is Fabian Chang from Maria Chang and Sons Company Limited. I want to wish Grace Kennedy a happy 40th anniversary.
Do you know how to choose the best engine oil for your car? We believe the best engine oil should provide optimal performance and ultimate protection for longer. For Quartz engine oil, our engineers have formulated age resistance technology, also known as ART. It's a breakthrough innovation. The interaction between oil molecules is increased, creating a super-resistant molecular structure. So whatever the conditions, it helps to prevent the lubricant protective film from breaking. Any engine is exposed to harsh conditions: extreme temperature and pressure, friction, sludge accumulation. The molecular structure of Quartz with ART stays strong to perfectly lubricate and protect engine parts in all conditions. And the results are outstanding. Protection against sludge buildup improved by 18%. Protection against mechanical wear improved by 74%. Thanks to Quartz with ART, save on maintenance and preserve your engine's power. So next time you wonder which engine oil to use, choose performance and protection that lasts longer. Quartz with age resistance technology. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Atlantic Insurance informs our valued customers and the general public that our corporate headquarters and Belcan branch have been relocated. Our new location, the Atlantic Insurance Tower, located at 2.5 miles Philip Golson Highway. All our phone numbers remain the same. Our Collett and Albert branches will remain at their existing locations. Join the Atlantic Insurance family today and experience the future of insurance. Atlantic Insurance, insuring you from life's unexpected.
Boy!
What happened here?
Nothing, where we at?
See the garbage, sir? See the garbage? You just take the garbage and dash it over and take it back and ride.
What you talk about? You just do the same thing right
Yes, but the young lady made tell me about how important it is to keep the country clean. You should have stay right there for the educated.
Well, I never know they had an education.
All right. Hold it on, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Come this side, please. The Department of Environment. I saw what happened just now, and the gentleman is right. You threw your garbage on the roadside, and you took your bicycle, and you rode away. What you have just done is an environmental offense, and for that, I will give you a littering ticket.
Sir, why you only ticket this man 100? Why you not find more than that?
Littering carries a fine of $100 per person. However, if it is a company, it is $500. What this gentleman just did is dumping, and dumping carries a heavier fine. But because it is a first-time offense, I made a decision to give him a $100 ticket. I just want to take this opportunity to let the public know to put their garbage in the proper place, or else they will get ticketed.
All right, thanks for the 5 cents, brother.
Why make us stop being nasty and stop dirty with countrymen? You say that's all of them garbage up on the roadside. Then I didn't pick me have to come weekend and pick up the garbage.
This message is brought to you by the Department of the Environment.
Les deseamos a todos una feliz Navidad y un próspero año nuevo.
Climate change and environmental awareness have been key issues in the media this year. Our continued coverage of these activities have earned us distinct recognition in several categories at the Caribbean Broadcasting Union Awards. Beyond the acknowledgement are real concerns being shared by the environmental and conservation communities. Here's News 5's Cipolito Novello with a roundup of the major stories that delved into those topics.
At the beginning of the year, Minister Orlando Habet assumed the pro tempore presidency of SECA's Environmental and Development Commission. He said this was significant.
For us, it is significant because we have on our agenda at least 6 or 7 priority areas that we want to stress and that we want to see accomplished by the time we come out.
The pro tempore presidency was only for 6 months, and during that time, Belize focused on strengthening the link between SECA and the Caribbean. But Minister Habet had several pressing environmental matters to address in Belize. For instance, in January, pipes in Alta Vista Village Tank Creek began spewing discolored water caused by local infrastructure works.
For the past months, we have the water were like muddy, real red, and within the time we can't even drink the water. We can't wash with the water, and most of the time if we have to do laundry, it would be like, especially with the rain, we drum so we could wash.
The developer David Lacroix worked with villagers to rectify this matter, and from a single village to the entire country, the government launched the first Green Climate Fund Country Program, a crucial step for accessing climate finance.
Climate change has a mega appetite to the point that it has swallowed Monkey River. It's swallowing the coastal areas from Corozal to Punta Gorda, but it's also affecting our productive sector, our service sector, our tourism sector, infrastructural sector, all layers of our economy.
And government officials recognize that economic growth can be boosted by the environment. Belize's Blue Bond had taken off and its impact was being registered.
Of course, the Blue Bond had an impact of 12% directly onto GDP, but it's still having, it's when there is an explosion somewhere, you don't know the damage that it creates, it takes time to know. The Blue Bond transaction has created a positive damage to Belize.
And environmentalists were on the lookout for any possible negative damage to Belize, especially since multiple cruise port development projects were on the table. In February, the Department of Environment introduced an amendment to the Environmental Impact Assessment EIA regulations, which raised constitutional concerns as it modifies the composition of the tribunal overseeing an appeal by Waterloo. The timing of this change, amid an ongoing tribunal process, is criticized for its potential unfairness to the appellant. Meanwhile, Portico Enterprises continued to claim that there was a definitive agreement for its Port of Magical Belize project. Earlier this year, the chief environmental officer said he had no knowledge of that agreement.
If you look at that letter, that is separate from the EI process. That is speaking to an MOU or agreement that the company would have with the government itself. So that did not mention anything as it relates to the environmental clearance process. Portico went through the EI process. They have received environmental clearance, and it is my understanding that they are proceeding with the development.
And again, environmental concerns were raised when it was revealed that Portico intends to clear a portion of mangrove trees in close proximity of the proposed project. The World Wildlife Fund had expressed concerns, suggesting in a prior interview that a substantial area of tropical evergreen forests might be impacted, potentially spanning thousands of acres. However, Minister Habet contested these assertions.
Not so. I think it's 45 acres in the ECP, and I think another about 65 acres in the dewatering site going out onto the highway. But I may be wrong, but that is from what I've read on the ECP, that is what's there. Somebody had posed a question earlier on whether or not we have this restoration program and we will restore so many thousand acres of mangrove, but all at one project will destroy 20%. That is not true.
But the WWF country representative Nadia Booth said they don't condone any destruction of mangroves.
From the perspective of World Wildlife Fund, we do not condone any project that will lead to large-scale impact on mangroves. We also have not endorsed any cruise port in Belize, including Port Magical.
A Senate Special Select Committee hearing is currently being conducted to investigate the documents, communications, and processes tied to the signing of the Portico Definitive Agreement. Former Attorney General Michael Perfield appeared during the first session.
When did you learn that your former firm had been retained by certain investors, and was this the only matter that this overlap happened?
If you look, as far as I'm aware, yes. If you look at the letter that I will give to you in June, it's dated June 1st. I think it was 2020. The one that member for Albert Panton said that Morales sent to her. It was around a couple weeks before that. David Morales telephoned me and said that he has been retained by Portico and that he wants a definitive agreement to be signed that he has. I told him we cannot be talking about this. He knows better than that. Secondly, I told him our communication go directly to the chairperson of the committee. They don't come to any other member naturally. If you want the committee to consider something, send it to the chair. And that thirdly, I did say to him, but did I miss something? Because as far as I know, we're not at the definitive agreement stage with that particular project.
The second session is expected to be held on January 9, 2024. Meanwhile, in Orange Walk Town, an environmental problem had re-emerged. Business people came together again to express concerns related to the new river. Several other fish kills in certain sections of the river made the tributary appear murky and smelly.
Affecting my tour is when I am taking my tourists and asking me, why does the river smell like this? I mean, I need to be honest and tell them I believe that it's a pollution.
Meanwhile, in the south, a video of this truck dumping concrete in a drain near mile 21 along the Placencia Road raised concerns as it could cause serious impacts. The DOE launched an investigation. And in June, Oceana Belize presented more than 22,000 petitions to prompt a referendum on whether the offshore oil moratorium should be lifted. According to Oceana Vice President Janelle Chanona, quote, in November 2022, the government told us they wanted to conduct seismic surveys and to lift the moratorium on offshore oil, and all without public notice, much less approval, end of quote.
We had and we remain dedicated towards strengthening the moratorium, and we had approached the current administration to look at how we can strengthen that existing protection when we learned that there was some consideration and intention to do seismic to quote-unquote know what's out there.
The referendum was not held as stipulated by law, but the Brazilian administration passed an amendment to the Referendum Act that will mandate the government of Belize to trigger a referendum in the event that there is intent to explore Belize's maritime space for oil.
Truly, these amendments here are validation that the people of Belize want to have a conversation about offshore oil and anything that would happen in the future there, and want to participate fully in that. So I really want to begin by thanking everyone who signed the petition. 22,090 registered voters signed that petition, and truly we are here because they stood up to be counted on this.
And on the international stage, Belize was not about to be left out. A delegation of expert negotiators in areas such as biodiversity, climate finance, mitigation, adaptation, loss and damage, and others traveled to Dubai for the Conference of Parties COP28. The 2-week-long summit concluded with significant pledges favoring Belize. The conference, a crucial platform for addressing climate change and its impact, saw progress in such as transitioning away from fossil fuels, advancing the temperature goal of the Paris Agreement, and establishing historical loss and damage compensation for nations facing irreparable climate-related damages. Belize secured seats in the Santiago Network for Loss and Damage Advisory Board and the Loss and Damage Fund Board for the 2025 term.
Belize is recognized, and we recognize it as one of the most vulnerable countries to the adverse impacts of climate change. So we have to come here to defend that interest, that we need the support from the international community to address the issues of climate change. In addition, we can contribute a lot to reducing the impacts of climate change in other countries through the use of our forests, through the use of our natural resources in the oceans. So there's a lot that we can contribute, but then there's also a lot that we are vulnerable to, and then we have got to show the world why we are vulnerable and what is the help that we require to address climate change.
And looking forward, in 2024, Belizean negotiators have begun preparing for COP29, expected to take place in Azerbaijan.
In terms of adaptation for us, which is the most important part, especially looking at the finance for adaptation, because we are doing our share, but we need to have the financing to get there. So the discussion on adaptation, especially with regards to finance, we couple it along with general climate finance, which we are asking that $100 billion be put out there, that they make certain that every year, for what has been promised for the next 10 years, is that $100 billion gets there.
Over the past 12 months, Belizeans of all ages in various sporting disciplines have shown off their physical and athletic prowess, making us proud by returning home with coveted medals from various tournaments across the region. This year, we also resumed our weekly Sports Mondays segment that highlights the achievements of teams and individual athletes. Here's Paul Lopez with a recap of the top sports stories.
2023 has been the year of Belizean athletes. There have certainly been some incredible highs and some low moments. We begin our 2023 sports review with Oscar Quiros' outstanding performance in this year's cross-country cycling classic.
3 miles from the finish line, Belizean Oscar Quiros launched a surprise attack from behind Williams and Brown. The other 2 riders got off their seats and attempted to respond, but quickly thereafter, they returned to their seated position while Oscar Quiros rode off into the distance. At the Digi Park, the 2023 Holy Saturday cross-country champion, Oscar Quiros, rode across the finish line to the deafening sound of fans cheering him on.
It's totally overwhelming. I think at this point it still haven't synced in yet, and I dreamt about this moment for many years, and I've never pictured myself getting first. I know I was always a contender, and I mean, most people that knew me for many years, I always say, that I've prepared as much as I could, and by the end of the day, I've done my part. And of course, you know, I feel like it's just up to the good Lord when He decides, hey, it's your turn, and it doesn't matter what. If it comes your way, it comes your way. You just don't know when. And I mean, today He blessed me with one of the best feeling ever in my life. You know, in Belize. You know, I don't know what to say. This thing is just crazy.
Oscar Quiros' 2023 cross-country performance will go down in Belizean sports history as he returned the garland to its rightful place. Belizeans were also present to witness the national under-17 male basketball team secure a historic bronze in this year's FIBA Central Basket Tournament. Here is a look back at the bronze medal match between Belize and Mexico. With 5 minutes left in this one and the Belize up by 20, Wilford Dawson goes up for the shot and it's good. Belize would go on to win the match 87 to Mexico's 72, securing a historic bronze medal. Belize's 6'9" guard Douglas Longford was also named to the U17 FIBA Central Basket All-Star 5.
We were always the underdogs. You know, a lot of people, you know, rooted us not to win and tried to say that we didn't have talent. And for a team, you know, just coming together, playing the first scrimmage against Panama and making it this far, that's top notch. We never competed against no other team. We just scrimmaged against ourselves. So playing against other competitions, we didn't know what to expect.
We now shift our focus over to the 50th Carifta Games held in the Bahamas, where young Dimitri Myers dominated in both the male under-17 1500 meter finals and the 3000 meter finals. Myers became a household name after this performance. On Sunday, young Dimitri Myers once again stood at the starting line, this time for the 3,000 meter race. Early into the race at 1 minute and 44 seconds, Myers took the lead. 8 minutes and 54 seconds into his run, Myers turned into the straightaway, overlapping 3 other runners for a final push to the finish line, securing his second gold medal.
I say, just as long as you stick to your training, you're determined, and you're passionate about the sport, track and field. If you keep on going, no matter if your event is on the field or on the track, just stick to what you need to do, your daily routine every day. And when you get under the big lights, you perform at your 110%.
Year after year, Belizean volleyball athletes have outshined most of their regional opponents. 2023 was no different for the national female under-19 volleyball team in the female Central American volleyball tournament. After defeating Guatemala in a long-standing rivalry matchup, Team Belize took on El Salvador for the silver medal. In the 7th and final night of the tournament, Team Belize took on El Salvador. They overcame El Salvador in the first 3 sets of the match. Fast forward to the awards ceremony. Team Belize received 3 individual awards. Blessed Umamori was awarded the best blocker of the tournament. Kaya Gordon was awarded the best attacker and best scorer.
I'm actually excited. It's my first award. When the award was announced, I don't even know how it feels. I just thank everybody who help me and train me to become the best blocker.
I never got an award before. I've always participated in all the Belize tournaments representing Belize, and now I feel so overwhelmed and I'm excited about this. Yeah.
Another huge 2023 sports highlight comes from the Belize senior women's national football team. They finished at the top of their group in the CONCACAF Women's Road to Gold Cup. After 6 games, the team garnered 18 points with 20 goals scored and only 1 goal against them. As a result, they have been elevated in ranking as their road to Gold Cup continues. And while there are plenty more moments to celebrate, there were also events that left us scratching our heads, questioning what will happen next. Basketball fans will remember the name Kirk Shabba Smith Jr. in 2023, but it will not be for his outstanding abilities on the court. Smith was at the center of the Belize Elite Basketball League's biggest controversy of the year. A dispute ensued between the Venice Belize Hurricanes and the Belize City Defenders over the highly sought-after talent when he signed agreements to play for both teams. Initially, the league suspended Smith for a year, but an appeals tribunal found that his contract with the Defenders was not properly executed. And when the league did not accept that ruling, the members of the tribunal all resigned in an unprecedented move. Eventually, a 7-game suspension was settled upon, and Smith finally got his day on the basketball court, playing with the Venice Belize Hurricanes.
It was just more so of a distraction than anything. You know, I came here to play basketball, and, you know, when you can't really focus on that, it becomes frustrating. But hopefully, you know, we're all past that, and I get to play basketball and do what I came here to do.
Of course, that controversy casted a dark cloud over the 2023 season and overshadowed the fact that the Hurricanes secured its 3rd semi-pro championship. And in another 2023 head-scratcher highlight, Belize's senior men's national football team fell from Group B to Group C in the 2023-2024 CONCACAF Nations League. The team won only 2 of its 6 games in the group, lost 3, and tied in 1 game. Huge expectations were being placed on the shoulders of this young and energetic team, but ultimately, they fell way short.
We have more of our players who are playing international and getting international training. We have several at the federation had sent out to play as well. So that basically is the approach we have been taking. Our players are more experienced. Also, if you notice the lineup, we have a lot of new, younger players who are basically doing great things in the local league, you know, so we're building the team around those younger players. We still have a few veteran players like Everell Chop around as well. And so the intention is for a 4 to 5 year plan.
Notwithstanding the senior men's embarrassing football performance, 2023 certainly reminded us that the future of the sport is in good hands. Belize United secured its 2nd straight championship in the Under-13 Anthony Mahler Mundialito tournament. Headed by coach Shefu Ulagunju, the Belize United Football Club serves as a testament to the transformational role that sports play in the lives of children from communities riddled with crime and gang violence.
It's been a long journey for us. When we started, it was the idea of this football club is to get boys off the streets during the evening time after school. So it has always been an after school program, and we are trying to create an avenue, an environment for young boys to have a safe place where they can play, express themselves through football after school, so that the streets don't take them on, you know.
The Belize Police Department organized the William Dawson Sprite Digi Basketball Tournament with the same idea in mind, to bring feuding gangs together through basketball. 24 teams went head-to-head over the course of 6 months on the basketball courts across the city and surrounding villages. These men laid their differences aside to play basketball, and in the end, the Hard Rock Boys came out on top to secure their 2nd straight tournament championship.
May I take the opportunity to congratulate Hard Rock Boys. I must say, I was rooting against you all. I wanted Southside to win. But at the end of the day, the better team became victorious. There is one person from Hard Rock who I believe must be the MVP. And if he does not get it, I'm going to tear down the civic center today. That's Bolo.
And finally, here is something we have not seen happen anywhere else in the world. In 2023, robotics was officially declared a sport in Belize. Jamie Usher, the principal of Belize High School and a partner of First Robotics, received official documentation from the minister to launch the nation's first robotics federation. Usher, Godfrey Sosa, and the team at BHS have been leading the charge in expanding the reach of the sport across the country.
Part of our initiative has involved a national competition every year, but we are intent on having that grow. So what we want to do is be inclusive while appreciating diversity. So a big push was endorsing sport and at the same time launching a federation.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Bye. Boy, long time to try call you.
Meet Alex.
Where they go on, man?
Alex signed up for a DigiOne Premium Bundle. He's loving it. With his free mobile plan, Alex can talk and surf on the go as much as he wants. Topping up and buying data is a thing of the past. Alex now has DigiTV. He enjoys all his games and his favorite shows, no matter if he's on the go or at home. And Alex also enjoys the fastest, most reliable home internet speeds with his DigiNet service. He is living his best life. Alex bundled. Alex is saving $70 monthly compared to purchasing these services from the other providers. Be like Alex. Sign up for your DigiOne bundle package today. DigiOne. One bundle, no hassle, exceptional value.
V-Bucks and get a chance to win a $10,000 homecation with Denny's. Quality and savings.
Cellular World is the authorized Samsung distributor in Belize, and they offer 1-year local warranty on all Galaxy devices.
Cellular World always has the best tech deals countrywide.
Get 3 or up to 7 years warranty on all Dell technologies because Cellular World is the authorized Dell partner here in Belize.
Like these good folks, rush down to Cellular World for the best tech deals such as cell phones, TVs, tablets, speakers, business products, and so much more. Visit any of our stores in Belize City, Belmopan, San Pedro, and now in Orange Walk. Or shop via our virtual store through Facebook and Instagram. Or WhatsApp us at 615-5141 to find out more.
It means a lot to me. I think often people forget the elderly. I can remember when this elderly lady walked through the customer care department. We have a section in the lobby where it labeled Golden Citizen, and Golden Citizen get priority. I called her over and asked her to come. When she came over, like a little sadness come over me, because the look what you have in it, face and your eyes, and you know she had a lot of struggle during her years. Put back in the connection in the system for her, and I guess that from then, that when she was the first person that was on the Golden Citizen. And if I can remember, back then we paid the bill for them in full, and it's only a small handful. We had a Golden Citizen ceremony, and they present to them the Golden Citizen like a little certificate, and she was here. I feel good that elderly citizens across the board are being assisted with by this Golden Citizen program. So yes, I feel so good that they're being assisted.
climate change in recent years has become a factor contributing to the rise in natural disasters in Belize, leading to displacement of families and poverty. Belize has many positive initiatives to become a climate-resilient country.
The mandate of the Climate Finance Unit is to mobilize resources for adaptation and mitigation of projects.
The integrated flood management in the upper region of the Belize River watershed. The aim of this project is to conduct feasibility studies to identify the flood and the effects of climate change that it has had in the surrounding areas of San Ignacio and Santa Elena towns.
Climate change adaptation is also seen through traditional agricultural practices. Let's all work together towards climate adaptation, mitigation, and resilience. A message from the Climate Finance Unit.
Yes, I give her 50 times ending, now me have to pay.
Where you going, bruh? The who they stress you out again, Namule?
Boy, I don't believe I the fool again.
Again?
But I mess up this time for
what you
real,
do this
for
time,
real,
for
for
here?
real. You really want to know?
Yes. I want yeah.
Can't make it a big deal.
We know
Sure.
what that.
I know how you going now.
Oh, man.
You really want to know?
Ah, yeah?
Take my plan, and I give her. I take my plan, and put it in a name.
In a name?
Wait,
so tell me something. You still pay for this plan?
Oh, yeah. But hear this. This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize. This plan, I can't left this plan, yeah. This plan, I can't left this plan. Postpaid plan. This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize, it's unlimited data. Smart choice plan can light up your day. Postpaid with eSIM, make everything better. Just visit Smart showrooms today. Boom! I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. Can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. Affordable for everyone. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong. Man caller, you know why? Listen, for the best post and prepaid. You know that smart catch, my bad. Wrong commercial. She could left me for another man. The truth, once I have my plan, once I have my Smart Plus plan, I no worry cause the data strong. I know when you bleed, cause that's all I need. And you could tell me where you are, but I know I left this plan. Smart have the best services. We post your plan have everything, so you could talk and text unlimited. Come set up your group, we got share plan 1 and 2. Up to 10 friends can connect anywhere. Boom! I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan. The postpaid plan, cause the data really strong. Don't dig it down, don't dig it down, don't dig it down. Smart Belize. Don't dig it down, 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 don't dig it. Smart, bringing people together.
The general expectancy of a positive outcome concerning social issues remains the focus of our weekly look on the bright side. We've been able to find a silver lining in every dark cloud, challenge, or adversity faced by Belizeans across the country. Many of these stories are personal, but they are relatable and often show how resilient we are as a people. My colleague Sabrina Daly does an excellent job of identifying these stories and sharing them with you.
One of our favorite stories for the year showcased how innovation can be born from the very things we may overlook or discard. In Buena Vista Village, artisans were weaving jobs for themselves through the Belize banana fibers, a resourceful business created by retirees living in Belize.
Hello, Miss Jerry. We brought you some more stuff. Oh, that will be very good.
We educated ourselves on how to make products.
All right, it's all over the internet, right? So we're internet schooled, and so we started making our own products, and now we teach it. We go to villages and we teach, and ladies there, they make these products and they put their own creativeness to it because we only teach basics. So we take the fiber to them, we give it to them, we don't charge them for it, and then when they have their products made, we go pick them up and pay them right then. And our end goal is to put income into these families. The women can work at home with their children, they can see to their husband and their household, and they can work and make these products at home, and we pick them up.
When school closed, we don't have a lot of work because we don't have to do uniforms. We don't have that job because when COVID started, this was the problem because sewing stopped and we don't do uniforms because children never go to school again. And then I got this opportunity to start to work. It's a nice opportunity of job because we don't have to spend our time in go sell it by the road or house by house or by shop. She come and buy it, she bring the fiber, and she come and buy the things, buy the products.
From Buena Vista, where ladies were making jobs for themselves, to a young high schooler in Belize City doing the same. Javen Anderson inspired not only his peers at school, but our viewers when they learned that this young student made a barbershop business on campus to kickstart his future and assist his guardians in his daily monetary allowances. And at 3 o'clock when school is over, barbering continues at home, where we met him with another customer. Javen told us what got him interested in this profession.
Before I even started cutting hair, I always wanted to find new ways to make money. So I would like go to my uncle's house, maybe wash his car 1 or 2 times, go around in the neighborhood. I also sold fudge for a few weeks in 2020 when there was quarantine. And from the time that I started doing that, I knew that I wanted to do something pertaining to business, and this was one of my outlets to that.
Javan got his hands on his first clippers as an early Christmas gift from his grandfather. The first haircut was given to his best friend. That would be the start to Javan establishing a plan for his future.
My same assistant, his name is Nelson, he was the first person that I actually cut his hair.
I never just say, so the first time he cut me, I buy loan race a bit, and when he get a machine do a neat cut, and I start clean up for he after his cut stay, so he had time to eat here in the afternoon. And he made do a really nice job on my head, and he made give me a free cut. He made use the time, and I really appreciate it. So I encourage her to make it called it at school so he can make a good amount of money.
He would come with his colleague, Nelson Hill. They would set up, they would sweep, they run jokes. And I think what I like about it is that even though they're in there to do a job, we still develop that rapport and building a relationship with him, and you get to know more about him. And so I have not had any issues with him other than being his timekeeper in terms of letting him not going over the required time that is allotted for him to trim.
We enjoyed watching these gentlemen make a mark on their young lives through business development, and we are certain that their friendship will be a special one to look back on. The same can be said for the duo in this next story. This friendship is decades old, but it was the way it started and how it has evolved to the present moment that will pull on your heartstrings.
I dig down in my pocket, I come out, got $2. I mean, how much am I got exact?
I don't remember.
I always tell me about 150 he say me have. I tell him, well, boss, I got $2 so that I could meet to buy the bread and thing, so I'd appreciate that and thing. And he start to, he made work abroad is at that moment. He made take lunch break and he have to head back to work and thing, and I tell me, I'm a scout leader and everything there, so.
All this conversation you guys were having the first time you met?
Yes, ma'am, like about 15 or 10 minutes,
The connection between Robinson and Saunders has transcended the initial encounter of a stranger offering assistance. Evolving into a familial bond, they now regard each other as family. Saunders even found himself in a poignant full-circle moment when, in his senior years, Robinson reciprocated the care and support he needed.
I never realized that the time would be coming, or the time would have come like this, that the said young man that I helped would be helping me now. And that's the reason why I believe in helping people. Because you never know what could happen. When I don't help you, we forget about that, thank God.
We were captivated by the inspiring story of these men who, over the years, nurtured and upheld their friendship, forging a bond so profound. Similarly, Frank Zib is dedicated to the preservation of something dear to him, channeling his efforts into safeguarding his rich cultural heritage.
The hieroglyphs actually is, I would say specifically the Maya hieroglyphic writing system, is the ancient way that the Maya would write, right? So it's the same way like we write now, A, B, C, D, E. The Maya would have their writing the same way, but it's a little different. When it comes to the Maya writing, we like to say it is logosyllabic, right? So the Maya writing would include logograms and syllables, right? For example, here we have U, which is a syllable, but U can also mean a logogram, which is a shark.
By inscribing hieroglyphs in his native language, Zib has discovered a means to safeguard their cultural heritage, ensuring that succeeding generations do not lose touch with their roots.
My goal is, again, to bring it back to life within our Maya people, right? Because during the 16th century, that is when this writing completely died with our people, right? And we were forced to stop our writing system and use the Gregorian style, I would say, right? The European style. And that is why, like within our people, I want to bring this back to life. I want to bring this writing back, you know, so that it will be like a very common thing within our Maya people. Like, for example, if we say, write this phrase for me, or do this word for me in hieroglyphs, right? We can do it. Right? And it's our heritage, you know, since our ancient people, it's our heritage, it's something that our culture developed, right? And again, it would be nice to bring it back.
Zib's love for his cultural heritage has instilled adoption from people even outside of his cultural background, proving that love has no boundaries, much like Susan Baumgartner, who has made a loving family of diverse children.
They come from several different birth biological family settings, but we have melded into a family. So they don't consider, oh, I'm a biological sister. No, they're sisters and they're brothers. And so it doesn't matter where they came from, that it's a family unit.
What are you feeling?
Like a sense of gratitude, because I know it's such a big sacrifice and commitment and dedication, like for my mom to, you know, come from the US and like live in Belize and dedicate her life to raising kids that weren't her own, but still like treating us like her own. And like not one day did she ever make us feel like we were adopted, you know?
These stories were based on extensive research, interviews, and data analysis by our team of journalists who worked tirelessly to bring you the most accurate and reliable information. As we enter a new year, we hope to continue to inform, educate, and inspire you with our stories. We also invite you to join us in our mission to uphold the values of democracy, human rights, and social justice. Thank you for your trust and support. We look forward to seeing you in 2024.